Josie. I'm the creative director on the team. This is Edward. He's our programmer. And that's Zach. He'll be driving our game today. And he also is an artist and did the 3D models of our enemies. Our two other artists who couldn't be here today are named Nick and Anya. They did a lot of 3D models as well. So our game's called Cupid, and when brainstorming for the prompt, we had to think, well, what would be a fun baby character to play as? And Cupid came up, because Cupid has abilities. He has a bow, and he can fly. And from there, we came up with the idea of putting baby Cupid in a arena combat game. So, you can press play. So, Cupid is on a mission. Devil Baby has taken over Central Park, and it's up to you to stop him. It will be dangerous. His minions are around every corner, and the people have been corrupted. Use Cupid's bow to free Devil Baby's minions from its influence and save the park. So, the setting here, we thought a lot about. So, it's based off of a location in Central Park called the Mall and Literary Walk. And we found it to be a perfect first stage because it's wide open, especially for a baby, and it also functions as a pathway, since you can see those pink kind of wall-looking things are actually like portals to the next stage. So when you, you enter from one end, exit from the other when you've defeated all the enemies.
So currently we are working on it. So the enemies are supposed to follow you. You can shoot your arrows. You can also fly. If Zach wants to demonstrate that. Currently, if you get close to the enemies, they'll collide with you and they'll do damage to you, and your health bar will go down. And that's the extent of the combat currently. Well, to shoot, you would hold down the mouse button, and the longer you hold it down, the farther the arrow will go. Zach wants to demonstrate that. As you can see, the arrow also disappears after you've shot, and reappears when you can shoot again. So there's a reload timer, so you can't spam it. That's about the extent of it.
That's a good example of playing something within scope. I think you guys, it's really pretty. I love what you said about the environment. I really like that stylized kind of heavy line art that's going through there. I heard a little response to the audience when you popped up. I think people liked it when they saw it. At least I know I did when it went right from there. But what I mean about scope is that if you kept it pretty simple, all the way through. And there might be room to improve that, but that's fine. I would rather see some simple gameplay with some simple enemies that are going through and mechanics that work and function. To go from there. I'd love to be able to see how you can leverage being able to fly a little more clearly. What advantage can I gain from that? Or can you shoot while you're up there?
You can shoot while flying.
Yeah, so you can shoot down and go from there. So a great example of just not going too far, but really executing nicely on what you did do, and that counts for a lot. It's a great foundation that you're starting from.
Avendo che ho guardato di mezzo qua, I I kind of enjoyed how you approached the theme. It definitely fits into that. I mean, I think we've seen lots of like a lot of forward and even characters, but to use Cupid is quite interesting. I probably would have gone with the heavier baby myself, but I'm not that creative. I do love the fact that, as said before, that you guys clearly took a scope in mind and killed it on that. But you also did good at sort of camouflaging how small the field is. So, for example, the trees in particular, I love the fact that it feels a lot more to it than it actually is. In that, if you took away the trees, I imagine the field would feel a bit smaller. The only thing I think was I would love to see sort of you build on this more. Things like you've got what is essentially a giant field, giant corridor that you're shooting at. I'd love to see things like power-ups to find multiple at a time. I'd also like to see the difficulty game actually up, because it feels like you can shoot what looks like little dead house heads from about a mile away, and so it's a case of that's great for the first minute. So after that, what then?
And the other thing I would add as well is when you pick a character like Cupid, the character of Cupid's not just about having a bow and arrow and flying. Cupid actually is the effect of the arrows. And so it'd be interesting to explore how that narrative around that particular character, because that character is so well known in mythology, like if you shoot the arrows at the enemy, does that make them like you? Right? You don't kill them, you basically do they have an affection for you, or something like that.
You free them.
Yeah, something, yeah, because Cupid basically that's the effect of the arrow, is to kind of develop affection, and so so it'd be interesting to explore that.
Yeah, if you could recruit them, have them fight for you.
Well, yeah, exactly. They become your minions, kind of thing.
I thought that the theme was implemented in a really fun way. I didn't feel like you actually got at the theme of babies and the elderly in this. Like the character controls kind of just like a first-person shooter. It didn't feel like I was being a baby in any sense. It'd be something to look at next time. But I do think that the way you handled the thing was still well done. It's impressive building a full 3D game in the time frame that you had, and as I said earlier, really smart keeping it as simple as you did. I did like the nice touch of having to charge up the bow to have it fly further. Like a game with more enemy types that have different preferred ranges and that sort of thing. You can imagine that being a much more interesting decision than if you just press the trigger and have the arrow fly out a fixed distance.
I was also very impressed with the amount of 3D work you managed to do in such a short period of time. That is not an easy thing to do. I would note, I really like the mechanics overall. I felt like you developed a really good framework that you could expand out very easily. It's a very skilled program, which is something I like to see when it comes to 3D, because you're going to get a lot more focus on what else can you do after you go into the realm of 3D from 2D. Personally, I would add maybe a few more points of feedback, such as on the flight, maybe limit that, something like that.
Actually, on the point of the flight, it is limited. I forgot to mention that. It's time limited, and as soon as you stop flying, it will recharge. There's just currently no feedback for it.
Okay. So yeah, essentially my only feedback is to work on feedback. Otherwise, it's a very well-developed 3D game, like I said, given the time period you had.
Great, thank you very much.